The Buddha taught that everything in the world, including all living beings and their experiences, arises in dependence upon a complex web of causes and conditions. This means that nothing exists independently or by itself. Instead, everything is interconnected and mutually dependent. Put another way, nothing exists separately or has a self-existence. Here's a short reflection to illustrate the truth and the complexity of dependent origination. Consider the act of eating a meal. What caused you to eat this particular meal? Was it because you were hungry or because it was your favorite dish? Perhaps it was because you were invited to a dinner party. Once you have identified the primary cause, think of the various factors that cause that to come into being. Then reflect on what caused those things to happen, and so on. Continue this exercise for a while, and you will realize that there are innumerable causes for you eating this meal. You end up with a flow chart with countless links. The Buddha then teaches that by understanding dependent origination, we can know that the self is not a fixed entity, but rather a constantly changing and interdependent process. He explains that the self arises due to the coming together of various physical and mental factors, such as the body, feelings, perceptions, and consciousness. This understanding challenges the conventional notion of a permanent independent self, suggesting that our sense of self is a product of these ever-changing factors. Nisargadatta, an Indian spiritual teacher of non-dualism, also known as Advaita Vedanta in the 20th century, referred to the principle of dependent origination as follows. Everything is interlinked, and therefore everything has numberless causes. The entire universe contributes to the least thing. A thing is as it is because the world is as it is. This universal perspective can foster a sense of connection and belonging in the person, making them feel part of a larger whole. Finally, Meister Eckhart, 1260-1329, who is now considered one of the greatest Christian mystics, said, "All creation is a single unity. It is all in all. Separate yourself from two-ness. Be one in one, one with one from the one. There is no other." The principle is important to our everyday lives because when we see that life is a phenomenon, rolling on with everything interconnected and causing each other, we don't take things personally and struggle with life. With a deep realization of dependent origination, that we are not separate from the world around us, we can release the sense of a separate, independent self. We can see that separateness is an illusion we have created and overcome ignorance or delusion. The practice is to see this for ourselves, not to adopt a belief that this is true, but rather to see and know it is true in our direct experience. When I began to practice with dependent origination, I started with online and book reading and listening to a few Dharma talks. I quickly realized that academic and philosophical work was abundant out there, but that there needed to be more practical information. As I began to practice with and directly see how dependent origination unfolds in my direct experience, I noticed that it is a very approachable and profound access point to the Buddha's teachings.